You felt it this morning. That small, tight feeling in your chest when your phone buzzed with a notification you weren't expecting. Or the way your eyes snapped toward the door when someone walked into the room behind you. Or the cold flush that moved through your body when your boss said your name across the office before explaining why. You weren't in danger. You knew that. And yet your body didn't care. That reaction, the snap, the flush, the tightening, is one of the oldest things about you. Older than language, older than memory, older than anything you would recognize as human. And the reason it still happens, in an air-conditioned office, in a world with no predators, in a life where the most dangerous thing you'll face today is traffic. That reason will reframe almost everything you think you know about your own mind. Your brain is not a modern machine running ancient software. It is an ancient machine that has never been updated. Think about what that means. The organ sitting inside your skull right now was shaped by millions of years of a world where something was always trying to kill you. Not sometimes. Always. Your ancestors woke up every single morning of their lives inside an equation that had one variable: survive today or don't. There was no third option. And the ones who survived, the ones whose DNA eventually became yours, were not the calmest ones. They were not the most rational ones. They were the ones who flinched first. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping what he called the fear circuit, the web of structures deep in the brain that fire before conscious thought even begins. His research showed that a threat signal reaching your eyes doesn't travel first to your thinking brain, your cortex, the part that weighs evidence and makes decisions. It takes a shortcut. It goes straight to the amygdala, a small almond-shaped cluster near the base of your brain, which can trigger a full-body alarm response in under 100 milliseconds. That's faster than you can blink, faster than you even register what you saw. Your body is in motion before your mind knows what's happening. LeDoux called this the low road. And it exists for exactly one reason. When a shadow moved in tall grass 200,000 years ago, the ancestor who waited to think about it was the one who got eaten. The one who was already running, even if the shadow turned out to be the wind, is the one who survived. Over millions of years, that bias calcified into architecture, into the actual physical structure of your brain. You didn't inherit a tendency toward anxiety. You inherited a survival system so well designed that it still runs at full power in a world where it almost never needs to. And here is where it gets strange. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a lion and an angry email. That is not a metaphor. That is physiology. When the stress response fires, when cortisol and adrenaline flood your system, when your heart rate climbs and your muscles tense and your digestion slows, your body is doing exactly what it was built to do. It is preparing you to fight or flee. It is pulling blood away from your organs and pushing it into your limbs. It is sharpening your vision and narrowing your focus to the immediate threat. The problem is that the threat is a Monday morning meeting. Psychologist Martin Seligman introduced a concept he called preparedness, the idea that humans are not blank slates when it comes to fear. We are primed to be afraid of specific things: snakes, spiders, heights, the dark, faces twisted in anger. These are not random, they are a catalog of what killed your ancestors. Seligman demonstrated in a series of landmark experiments that humans learn to fear evolutionary threats in a single exposure and almost never forget them, while it takes dozens of repetitions to develop a fear of something modern, like electrical outlets, that statistically kills far more people. Your brain is not calibrated to the actual danger level of your world. It is calibrated to a world that no longer exists. That is why you can know, intellectually, that flying is safer than driving and still grip the armrest when the plane hits turbulence. That is why you can tell yourself that the spider in the corner is harmless and still feel your skin crawl. The knowing and the feeling come from different systems. The ancient system does not take input from the modern one. Now pay attention, because this is where it gets more uncomfortable. It is not just physical threats your amygdala flags. It flags social ones too. For your ancestors, being cast out of the group was a death sentence. Humans survived not because they were the strongest or the fastest. They survived because they cooperated. They built fires together, hunted together, raised children together. Alone, a human in the Pleistocene had almost no chance. So your brain evolved to treat social rejection with the same urgency as physical danger.